Eden, the first light of dawn, kissed the horizon as Ares walked along the gravel road that wound through the seemingly endless grassy meadows of the Indian countryside. Each step of his long and arduous journey had carried him closer to the Brotherhood's revered headquarters, and relief washed over him as the landscape began to change. The open plains gave way to towering silhouettes of formidable mountain structures, a natural fortification that ensured only those deemed worthy could gain entry to Eden. Eden stood proudly on an ancient site where two rivers converged at its centre, a place whose origins predated any recorded history. Nested within an inner valley, its lush, warm and temperate environment offered a stark contrast to the harsher world beyond. Clouds clung to the mountains encircling the sacred valley, their summits nearly impossible to scale. Eden truly was a marvel to behold. The valley teemed with life, its vibrant forests bordered rolling green fields, while serene lakes and meandering rivers flowed gracefully through the landscape. Waterfalls and streams cascaded from the surrounding peaks, their waters pooling in pristine reserves below. Birdsong mingled with the gentle rustle of leaves, creating a natural symphony of peace and abundance. As Ares continued toward the imposing golden gates, the sole entrance and exit of Eden, their grandeur became impossible to ignore. Morning sunlight gleamed off their surface, highlighting exquisite details that spoke of both strength and grace. This was the monumental craftsmanship of those who had built Eden millennia ago, a place designed to safeguard the Brotherhood's greatest treasures and philosophies. Standing guard at the threshold were two Brotherhood members. Their deep green robes, accented by gold embroidery, matched Ares' own. Hoods half concealed their faces. They stood with poised calmness, exuding both hospitality and authority. As Ares drew nearer, a sense of kinship awakened within him. He was among family, returning to the order that had shaped him. "Who seeks entrance to the sacred site?" one of the guards intoned. His voice was measured and resolute. Ares inclined his head. His posture stood firm yet deferential. "I am Ares, brother of the serpent, rank master." His answer served as both introduction and coded clearance, granting him the right to enter Eden's sanctuary. "Marking?" the guard asked. His eyes scanned him intently. Without hesitation, Ares rolled up his sleeve to display the serpent tattoo coiled around his arm. The symbol, denoting his rank and loyalty within the Brotherhood, caught the early light. Its intricate scales were a testament to his station. "Brother Ares, the elders have expected you for some time. I recommend reporting to them immediately. Welcome home." The guard's tone softened to genuine warmth, and with a gesture, he signaled Ares to enter. As Ares stepped forward, the enormous gates slowly began to part, their resonant groan echoing through the peaceful valley. Shafts of sunlight danced across the ground as they fully opened. For a moment, Ares stood in silent awe at the paradise that lay beyond. The Valley of Eden was even more breathtaking than memory allowed. Dense forests hugged the perimeter, their leaves, a lush canopy, swaying gently in the breeze. Stretches of emerald fields rolled out from the gates, dotted with wild flowers and meandering wildlife. Clear lakes mirrored the sky's brilliant hues, and waterfalls fed crystalline pools that sparkled under the rising sun. The entire scene exuded a sense of unity and balance, a testament to how the Brotherhood lived in harmony with nature. Ares felt a flicker of joy spark in his chest. Many years had passed since he'd last stood here, and though his recollections of Eden's beauty had sustained him in distant lands, seeing it with his own eyes renewed his spirit. He stepped onto the polished pathways, inhaling the balmy air, laced with floral undertones, conscious that each footfall brought him closer to the Brotherhood's heart. Fellow members were visible in the gardens, whether in quiet contemplation or animated conversation. Their unity was underpinned by shared devotion. Heading deeper into Eden, Ares sensed the millennia-old pulse of this sanctum. Every rock bore the Brotherhood's legacy. Every blossom was a reminder of their pledge to safeguard knowledge. Along his route, he spotted initiates practicing martial arts in a courtyard and older students perfecting marble carving near the temple. Closer to the main complex, a writing class was underway. The lively hum of collaboration reminded him of why he adored the Brotherhood, its promise of purpose and discovery. Meanwhile, in a different corner of Eden, Inanna had settled within the Temple of the Serpent, an honour rarely granted to outsiders. She was permitted entry due to Isis's summons, and her status as Nin, along with her critical insights into recent events in the ice. The colossal temple, set at the heart of the valley, was among Earth's largest. Its upper floors hosted a school and vast library dedicated to preserving the Brotherhood's principles. Here, initiates pursued chosen fields, benefiting from the rich tapestry of knowledge carefully maintained through the ages. Since arriving ahead of Ares, Inanna had been given private quarters and unrestricted access to Eden's repositories. Guided by the elder Thoth, she dedicated her days to poring over ancient accounts of past cataclysms, searching for means to save her people. Surrounded by towering shelves of texts and illuminated by mellow lamplight, she read tirelessly, convinced the wisdom she needed hovered at the edge of her grasp. One afternoon, her studious concentration was broken by the grand doors of the library swinging open. Inanna looked up, momentarily startled to see a female Brotherhood member hurriedly escorting a man inside. Unaware the newcomer was Ares, she strained to overhear fragments of their conversation. "A team of scholars ready to assist you, Ares. We've prepared space in one of our private research quarters," the woman said, her voice tinged with urgency. "Thank you," Ares replied, sounding both determined and optimistic. "I hope we can finally unravel this artifact's secrets." The two vanished from the hall, leaving Inanna staring after them. Her heart beat swiftly. The device? She sought to comprehend further. Could it hold the key to averting another Golden Age collapse? The realization unsettled her. If Ares possessed it in Eden, new challenges and dangers would inevitably follow. Gathering her notes hastily, she steeled herself to pursue this opportunity. In a secluded courtyard, fringed by sculpted shrubs and mosaic walkways, Ares found himself standing before 7 Brotherhood elders. These were individuals who had sacrificed worldly engagement to remain in Eden, guardians of the Order's deepest chronicles and its spiritual core. A silence draped the courtyard, broken only by the distant bird calls echoing across the valley's lofty walls. One by one, the elders studied the artifact Ares had brought, holding it up to the sun's rays or scrutinizing its carvings. Their gazes shone with fascination. Ares felt no immediate warmth, just the collective weight of their consideration. He reflected on how these elders coexisted in Eden's isolation, stepping outside its gates only in dire necessity. Finally, Thoth, entrusted with safeguarding the Brotherhood's most prized wisdom, approached Ares and returned the artifact to his hands. Ares had heard whispered legends of Thoth's knowledge since he was young. Now meeting the elder's calm visage, he felt at once humbled and determined. "Thank you for bringing the artifact to our attention, Ares," Thoth said. His voice was measured and calm. "We share your worries about the looming end of the Golden Age." Ares exhaled, relieved, as he took back the artifact. "Elder Thoth, I'd like to study in the library. I'm hoping there are specific texts that might offer clues on how to prevent another cataclysm." Thoth nodded and returned to his seat. Another elder, a woman seated nearby, turned a discerning gaze on Ares. "Which texts do you want exactly?" she asked. Her tone was neither harsh nor soft, but very direct. "I'm searching for any records describing the previous Golden Age," Ares clarified, "especially what led to its downfall. I realize that after 20,000 years, little evidence may remain. However, if anything survived, I believe it would be here." The elder shook her head. Her eyes were grave. "We only have fragments, a few parchments, some myths. All we truly know is that the last cycle ended in fire, referenced but never conclusively explained. There's no complete account of what truly happened. Ares noticed Thoth shifting slightly. Something in the elder's bearing revealed a deeper tension at play. The incomplete nature of the records and the subtle unease among these elders suggested a truth more elusive and unsettling than he had anticipated. He stood before them. Thoughts of the freshly uncovered Amazonian site weighed heavily on his mind. Though the courtyard radiated the tranquility of green hills and distant waterfall lines, he knew that neither place nor time could mask the reality of impending crisis or the spectre of an ancient civilization's secrets. "I trust you've heard of the site unearthed in the Amazon?" Ares asked calmly. It opened when Olympus Mons erupted, cracking open the jungle below. Soil samples show the site was deliberately buried. That means the people who created this artifact and lived at Olympus Mons base were active at the end of the last golden age. One of the elders, the same woman with the keen authoritative expression, interjected. Her voice was edged with skepticism. "Yes, it's significant. I fail to see how this artifact can aid us now. We don't even know if our age will truly end. Humanity prospers. Perhaps you've been blinded by a quest for answers we may not need." Ares pressed on. "Perhaps. This device appears able to harness frequency. My goal is to find out precisely how it was used." Unseen at the courtyard's edge, Inanna listened. She had arrived after the meeting began. Piecing together each remark, she began to understand that her own quest aligned closely with Ares. "Ares," an elder declared, "we thank you for bringing this matter to us. We will confer and return with our decision in due time. All of us belong to the Brotherhood of the Serpent, an order that has persisted through epochs. Until we settle this, go to Thoth's library and begin your study." Ares bowed with the artifact in hand. He then gently departed. Inanna lingered in the shadows, ensuring she was not noticed, watching as the courtyard doors closed behind him. Now alone with the elders, she leaned in to overhear. "We cannot let this discovery unravel our order," one elder said grimly. "I agree," another responded. "The artifact rests in our hands, just as our ancestors intended. We must protect it." Thoth, guardian of the Brotherhood's library, looked stricken. "This is madness," he insisted. His voice trembled at the edges. "Ares is one of us. He's devoted his life to the Brotherhood. We can't betray one of our own." "If he uncovers the truth, everything we've built could fall apart," another elder said, his tone chillingly pragmatic. Hidden behind a garden wall, Inanna fought the urge to recoil. She could almost feel their panic. "We shouldn't discuss more here," someone whispered. "We must decide swiftly." "Yes," added another voice. "We'll vote." "All in favour?" "I vote yes." "I second." "As do I." "Yes, it must be done." Inanna's heart hammered in her chest as she listened. She remained motionless. Finally Thoth rose, eyes flashing with disillusionment. "So this is what we've become, voting on extremes. We are the Brotherhood, yet here we stand." His expression tightened. "Fine, let me cast my vote, but I am ashamed to do so." With a troubled glance at his peers, he left the courtyard, robes trailing behind him. Inanna waited, pressed close to the wall, not daring to move until she heard every elder depart. She still knew little of Ares beyond these ominous whispers, but they shared the same question. How to save a world hovering on the brink. Perhaps the Brotherhood's hidden truths, whatever they were, would light their path toward an answer. Ares walked along Eden's winding library halls, each corridor lined with towering shelves of scrolls and codices, their titles long faded. He'd returned here to re-examine the artifact, hoping to match it with any knowledge left from earlier ages. Soft lamps glowed overhead, casting a muted light over the aisles that stretched into the distance. He rounded a bend in the dim passage and nearly collided with someone stepping out from a shelf. The woman drew back in surprise. Her robes swirled. They both paused. "Forgive me," Ares said, dipping his head slightly. "I didn't see you." She regained her composure. smoothing her robe in a regal manner. Her gaze bore both curiosity and unspoken burdens. "You are Ares, correct? The one the elders sought in the courtyard?" He nodded. "Ares of the Brotherhood. And you're Inanna. A Nin, if I've heard correctly." She offered a subtle nod. For a moment the only sound was the quiet rustle of parchment somewhere in the stacks. "I've been researching cataclysms, especially the ones that have always stalked our civilization's past," she explained quietly. "The Temple of the Serpent and these archives have allowed me to investigate our history thoroughly. However, it is difficult to distinguish fact from legend." A hint of relief softened Ares' expression. "Yes, indeed. I'm here because of a looming threat myself. I believe this artifact might have been designed to avert an earlier Golden Age's collapse. If I can cross-check it with whatever remains in Eden, maybe we can stop history from repeating." Inanna ran her fingers over a pile of manuscripts at her side. "I've devoured everything about the last Golden Age and the cataclysms that followed. The elders claim we have just fragments. From what I can piece together, we might be speeding towards something equally dire." Ares straightened. A resolve sparked in his eyes. "Exactly. Our forebears left cryptic hints. If this device once offered salvation, it might again." They paused in mutual understanding, letting the glow of distant torches and Eden's subtle energies envelop them. Inanna extended her hand in an unspoken alliance. "Neither of us can manage this alone. Eden brims with knowledge but also dogma and secrecy. Maybe by joining forces, we can find what's real underneath the legends." Ares looked about in worry. "The elders hide much. This library is vast and time is short. Your name might open doors I can't pass, and my artifact could unlock sections you'd never see otherwise." "I've already read about past civilizations that survived the previous cataclysm," she murmured. "Though that word's misleading, some spent generations underground or afloat, or else they scattered far across the earth." She looks around. "Could we talk in private?" Noticing her urgent tone, Ares agreed readily. "Certainly. Let's go find a table." Their eyes met in shared determination. Two strangers bound by the same precarious mission. In the garden, Ares and Inanna sat at a marble table beneath an ancient oak, while a gentle river flowed in the distance. Nearby, Brotherhood members came and went, some training, some moving purposefully across the complex. Inanna took it all in, her mind half on the conversation. "How many people are in the Brotherhood?" she asked at last. "Roughly 8,000, Ares answered. "However, every year that number dwindles, and due to the recent battle in Cairo, we lost nearly 40. Inanna nodded slowly. "I travelled with 4. Seti Kamun gifted their companionship to me in Pannonia. Maybe you knew them." Ares' eyebrow rose. "Who were they?" "Ra was their leader. The others were Isis, Horus and Osiris. They helped me cross the ice, helped me reach my sister." Ares caught the sorrow in her voice. "Those names are common in the Brotherhood. We choose them to mirror the philosophies we embody. I might have known them, but there must be dozens who share those names. Seti Kamun I knew. I was inches away from him when he died." She exhaled. Her grief momentarily overshadowed her curiosity. "He was a lively character. I recall seeing so much joy when he was sailing with us." "May I ask, then, how did you come to be called Ares?" "I kept my real name," Ares said quietly. "I'm proud of who I am and where I'm from. I chose to keep that." A brief peacefulness settled until Inanna's eyes flickered with a decision. "There is something I need to tell you, Ares," she murmured. "What is it?" "I overheard the elders after you left the courtyard," Inanna said, lowering her voice. She glanced around, making certain they were alone. "I was hidden nearby. I heard them vote against something. I can't be sure. However, I think they mean you harm." Ares felt a chill run through him. That his own Brotherhood, the order he'd devoted his life to, might harbour hidden malice unsettled him deeply. "I hope you understand," he began, tension edging into his tone. "I'm inclined to be cautious around someone who hides in corridors and eavesdrops. I thank you for the warning, Nin Inanna." She inclined her head. Empathy shadowed her eyes. We both want to stop whatever looms ahead. We could use each other's help. His posture softened. The seriousness lingered. Tell me, you ventured north. Did you find what you sought? Inanna exhaled. Her palm rested briefly over the scarring on her hands. Not the peace I wanted. I came away the only survivor, nailed to a cross, forced to watch everyone I cared about die. The recollection trembled in her voice. I'm sorry, Ares murmured. Suffering is never easy. She gave a small mirthless laugh. Nature's way of making us stronger, perhaps. I've had my fill of it for now. He recalled something his father once wrote, that without struggle, one never truly grasped life's purpose. He glanced at Inanna, wanting to convey comfort, but lacking the right words. Inanna continued, I led a party to capture my sister and return her to Sumer. She has been aiding Neanderthal warlords in raiding Minionalis, as well as giving them vital information about our world. The Neanderthals are migrating south. They must in order to survive. I was told by my sister that they predict a comet impact within a year or so. Ares listened intently. He asked gently, It must have been hard to feel so betrayed by your own family. In Gornia Shoria they'd gathered 3 million warriors, heading south to our lands, she added. Ares' eyes widened. They attacked Cairo. Thousands died up. My father among them. Pharaoh Setikamun as well. Her expression filled with sorrow. She reached for his hand again. Then we share a burden, Ares. We must do all we can to protect this world. There are powers at work, neither purely good nor wholly evil, yet time is against us. Inanna, he said, steeling himself, if what you overheard is true, I have to watch my steps. The artifact, the cataclysm, it's all bigger than either of us. We need to confirm this comet impact theory the Neanderthals posit, and we need to research all we can on the last golden age. A flicker of resolve passed over her face. We stand on the same side of this, so let's work together. He gave a faint, weary smile. Agreed, let's see if Eden's shelves hold our answers. Side by side, they drifted back toward the colossal structure at the heart of Eden. Through vaulting archways and corridors, lined with hushed tomes, they pursued knowledge hidden in the quiet corners of this ancient sanctuary.